Hello, Sizzle World. I am so pleased to come to you today via video. I know that it is an interesting time for sure. As many of you are working from home, like always, I thought it would be nice if we could visit your home virtually since we can't be there physically. First, I want to thank all of our frontline caregivers and first responders, our nurses, doctors, administrative staff, police, firemen and women, EMTs, those of you working tirelessly to keep us safe and healthy, treating our family and friends. It's an incredibly noble thing for each of you to do. I would also like to send our love and support for those of you that have had to deal with the pain and agony of this difficult time. So, we thought it may be nice to hear from a few of our corporate team members and allow them to share some thoughts and ideas as it relates to the times that we are currently in. If you have some ideas on what you would like to see, please send us suggestions on those topics that would be relevant during this time. So, let's get started, and I hope you enjoy this series. So I'm sitting here right now with Tom Maurer Jr., our Chief Executive Officer, as well as our co-founder. And Tom, you've been involved and engaged in this industry for a long time. Of course, about 35 years now.
Oh, yeah.
So over the course of time, you've seen everything. I mean, we've seen a lot of changes in the economy. You've seen a lot of changes in the way people think about nutrition, the way we build our company now versus maybe how you and your father started years ago. But right now we're in a crisis, obviously, this global pandemic, if you will. And what are we doing, or what are you doing? What are you thinking about? What's keeping you up at night as it relates to employees and our suppliers, our vendors, and as well our customers and distributors?
Well, you said something interesting. I've seen everything. I thought I had. But words like pandemic, antibodies, test kits, new vaccines, we've never had a focus like that before. And one thing about Sizzle, as we've seen for the last year, we are really focused. We change our focus from one topic to another, but we stay focused on our employees and our distributors. Those are our two greatest assets that we have to make this company work for both. And so with our employees, what we realized is that they're our real heroes. I mean, we watch the news and we hear about the heroics of nurses and first responders and what they're doing. Well, when your business and your livelihood is dependent on having products manufactured, orders being taken, customer service, things shipped, employees are people too. They're nervous about what's going on at the grocery store and what's happening on the news, and they want to, stay home and be with their families and those type of things. And they're our real heroes, and so we have a hero bonus that we've implemented, because if they're willing to come here and support our dynamic distributors that we have in the field, they're going to be rewarded. And so for the next 2 months, we have implemented that where they receive a hero's bonus that they can, when it's all said and done, they can take their family on a nice vacation or do something. But we really appreciate their efforts, just like we really appreciate what the distributors are doing in the field. Even though we see their focus, we were really heavy on anti-aging. Now the focus has changed to immune system and being healthy. That's our best defense we have with anything, is being very healthy. And so we see products that were good sellers became over the top sellers.
Yeah, right.
And that changed the dynamics that we have here in acquiring the components and the raws and manufacturing those products and getting them through quality. And whoever thought caps and bottles and labels would be a concern.
Right.
And so we're really trying to get this put together, because all of a sudden when you have set data points of what a SKU sells, well, overnight, all of a sudden you go 10 times that. And it creates situations in back order and people become panicked. And I have a hard time believing that we're using more toilet paper than we were 2 months ago, but if you went to the store, you sure would think so.
Right.
It scared something out of somebody.
Yeah.
But
right.
Those situations are occurring, and people, I think with Sizzle distributors though, they're really focused on their immune system, because they know that's the best defense they have. And so you see the Body Shields and the Influence and the Avengers and the Fucoidins are going through the roof. And Spectramax antioxidants. Those products have become the products that the spotlight is on right now. And we're going to continue to make them, and we're making them faster than we ever have before. Now, right now, we're going through a situation in the nation to where the government has come out and the FDA has talked about we have a need out there for hand sanitizers and those type of products. And so we've been asked, as other manufacturers have been asked, to produce some of these things. And like I say, componentry is a hard part. Alcohol is 3 to 4 times the expense that it used to be, 60 days ago.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so you're going to see that we're going to do a couple of things here in the next few weeks in all-purpose cleaners that have some very natural ingredients, highly effective cleaning products, but very broad spectrum in the ability to help clean things that we really don't see on surfaces and remove those.
Well, and you and your father have been involved in manufacturing literally from the time you were 10, 11 years old.
Elementary school.
Right.
Yeah.
So for you, you've been involved in that side of it. Now all of a sudden we've become an essential type company, a
Right.
company that is essential to the world that we live in and the world that we're in right now. What are we doing even on the manufacturing side? I mean, we're breaking records right now in our manufacturing facility, but what are we doing to make sure that we have the safest, most sanitary environment for our employees as well at the manufacturing side?
Well, just like we talked about, what's your best defense out there? A strong immune system. The same thing goes for a physical asset like a building. So we've hired 2 full-time people who disinfect all day long. And you've probably noticed, like I have, come in when you say that on the door because you feel the knobs being jiggled 4 or 5 times a day. Well, that's our guy who's disinfecting all the doorknobs 3 or 4 times a day in the bathrooms, and all the access around the building has all been cut off. There's only one point in there. If you come to the front door here, you have to knock on the door. We don't just have people walking in. If you go into the manufacturing, there's only one entrance now. Even employees who use other entrances can't come in. They have to come through one point. There's arrows. You have to hand sanitize, you have to wash, and you have to re-sanitize before you can even get onto the floor or access any of the areas in the building. And once again, we're looking for people who have signs of fever, and we're asking those people who don't feel good to stay home because we can't risk it. And we've had other businesses around here who have shut down.
Yeah.
Some out of fear, and some because they've had employees who haven't been healthy. But we were one of the very first to jump on that we put an extreme emphasis on sanitization. We always do, but to a higher level. We'll have people who are wiping everything down every day.
So it's interesting because you touched on a point earlier, but as we look at formulations, there is a huge demand. I mean, I went to my local market the other day and had to ask for, some household cleaner. Couldn't find it on the shelves. Had to go up to customer service. The person at customer service said, "You can have one." I said, "Is that really going to do it for me?" And he said, "Doesn't matter, you get one."
Yeah.
So how are we working as well on our scale, if you will, knowing that we have a massive manufacturing facility? But when you talk about some of the new things that the FDA is easing up on, allowing more companies to help out at a time when we really need the help as a community, how do we scale? How do we really keep up with the demand and understand that we've got all these people to serve?
Well, you really don't know what the demand is. I mean, if we could have had a 2-month notice on what would happen with influence and Body Shield, we would have been better prepared, You blow through 4 months inventory in 2 weeks. And so what we're trying to do, like I say, the FDA's come with 2 formulations for COVID, that for a hand sanitizer. They're asking those who can to help out and supply those. And so sprayers are on a 17-week lead time, and bottles are about half of that time, and alcohol is 3 times what it was 2 months ago in price, and people are limited on allocations because someone's hoarding, but really you have 10 times the use that you had 2 months ago. So we're going to, the next few weeks, we're able to, I think, put some things together for some spray sanitization, OTC, FDA approved, that we're going to be bringing out. But then also we're going to bring out a cleaning product And that is going to be a very natural, sizzle-safe, broad spectrum, highly concentrated formulation that one will probably leave in the lineup. The hand sanitizer, probably not, once this is over, this pandemic, but the cleaner we will.
Well, folks, again, Tom, thank you for your time. I know how busy we are right now, so I know you've got to be 10 times that. So thank you for sitting down with us, and I look forward to chatting again here soon.
You bet. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
Bye.